Arne has been looking for positives after taking 4 points from their last 2 matches to end a shocking run of form. But the big talking point all about Mohamed Salah, who was dropped for both those games. Well, let's get more. We can speak to our reporter Vinny O'Connor now. Vinny, afternoon. So Mo Salah in the headlines after starting on the bench, being dropped for 2 games running. He's again been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia. What did Slot have to say about it all?
Yeah, Joe, well, first of all, he understands all the talk around Mo Salah because of all he's achieved at this football club, the numbers he's put up, of course, as well. And he also understands the fact that when you've got such a legendary figure, it is difficult to manage the situation. Remember, Mo Salah is someone who made 53 consecutive Premier League starts before he was benched against West Ham and Sunderland. At the same time, you can probably understand Arne Slot's decision as well, given the way Mo Salah's form has dropped off. Certainly his goal-scoring form. After 14 Premier League games last season, he'd scored 13 goals. So far this campaign, he's scored just 4 Premier League goals. He's got a couple of assists, of course, as well. And you know, you can also understand, I suppose, Mo Salah's unhappiness at being left out, given he's still more productive than the likes of Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz, for example, as well.
It'll be difficult for Liverpool. I think it'll be a difficult game. Because obviously there's been talk about Mo Salah. He's been on the bench the last couple of games. And these are the champions of last year. And it's interesting with Liverpool because I feel like Liverpool have almost done things backwards. I expected Liverpool to be at this point last year when Arne Slot first got there.
Yeah. That's true.
The one thing for Liverpool at the moment, and there's loads of areas to discuss, but they had to stop conceding lots of goals because they were losing games and losing heavily. Now, they got the win, and then they've got the draw. West Ham and Sunderland. Neither of them great performances, of course. We know that. Let's not be naive about it. But he's got to pick another team when he goes to Leeds that can defend. And even if it's showing Leeds respect and sitting in for a bit at times, they even at times against Sunderland dropped off, which you do not lesser teams. You don't see it. But they did it because they're trying to keep clean sheets and they're trying to get back, back to winning ways. He's still got to go with the respect. Away from home, Leeds are a good side. They're playing well. Play players who are going to do the defending and do the work. Don't think you can just go, right, we'll put the forward players back in and start scoring goals again.
What about Florian Wirtz? I think, we thought he finally got his first Premier League goal and then it was an own goal. Kind of felt bad for him. Did you see that that massive improvement that the manager was talking about?
I've seen an improvement. I mean, that was him down to a T, breaking into the box, great footwork, and it's unfortunate it's gone down as an own goal. But I think, there's been a lot of pressure on Wirtz this year because he's come into a team and the price tag can sometimes weigh a player down, but he's gone into a Liverpool side where a lot of their players are out of form. If he's gone into the Liverpool team last year, we're talking differently. Like McAllister's not been great this year. Mo Salah, Van Dijk, the list could go on. And he's come into a team where Arne Slot, I don't think, knows his best team. At times he's playing Soberslite right back. So it's a weird time. I think Wirtz has come under a lot of pressure, maybe rightfully so, because he's been brought in for a lot of money and he's not producing. But, sometimes fair play to Arne Slot for playing him through it.
They still look vulnerable, and I think they need everyone on the pitch working in the same direction.
And then we mentioned Liverpool brought to an end their dismal run with that win over West Ham last weekend. Then it was a draw at home to Sunderland midweek. What did Slot have to say? What does he make of the current form?
Yeah, he's still not where Liverpool want to be. He feels that they're not where he wants them to be, at least anyway. And you look at that dismal run that you speak of, the fact that they had 9 defeats in 14 games, all competitions, just 3 wins and a draw in that time, that draw coming against Sunderland as well. Remember, though, they went into the West Ham game having lost 3-0 to Manchester City, 3-0 at home to Nottingham Forest and 4-1 at home to PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League as well. So results this week, they've taken 4 points from the last 2 games with the win over West Ham and the draw against Sunderland as well. So that's a positive. Clearly, there are things that still need addressing. And Arne Slot alluded to that as well. They've been perhaps a little bit more solid in the last couple of games, but that's been at the expense of creating chances at the other end of the pitch as well. At the very least, though, this little mini unbeaten run, if you like, of 2 games, at least potentially gives them a basis, or at least the start of a potential turnaround in their season.
Ekitiki's coming in. He's probably deserved to play more than Isak at the moment. So you listen to him there with Patrick. It can be hard at times. Yeah. Play going doing an interview. easy when you're playing well, when you're winning football matches.
Yeah.
It's not easy for Liverpool players at this moment in time.
Do you feel for him a little bit, Mario? Because obviously Alexander Isak is a player that no matter what team he plays for, you want to see the best players playing their best, and we know what he's capable with and seeing him like this is quite tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's also, you know why it's tough? Because if your team is not performing the way they performed, like before he came there, he knew Liverpool was a great side, right? And now the team is trying to get their act together again, and they're struggling in that sense. So sometimes, you know, when I see him play, you know, it's also a lonely factor sometimes because you're alone. You don't know how they're going to supply you. They don't know how they're going to play with you, because during the season, he's trying to get fit during the season. It's not like he did the pre-season, like, and you're fit when we start. No, he's now trying to get fit, and then you get an injury, so that doesn't help. You kick you back, and then you come back. So for him, you know what, the feeling, the feeling for him, what is very important, and strikers are very sensitive like that. When a striker does not feel good, you will not see him perform. So his feeling needs to come back and needs to have the trust and the belief again, and then he becomes something different again, and something that we enjoyed when he was at Newcastle.
Yeah. I think you look as well from back to front, Roman, and you talk about connections, and Liverpool will look, why have they had such a slump? They've spent £500 million. These players are top players. They all of a sudden haven't come bad overnight. But you talk about you lose a Trent. So Konate has to make a connection with his right back. Kirkes is coming at left back. Virgil and Andy Robertson have been together all the way through, so they know what each other are going to do. You look at the attacking third. Different players come in. Players aren't playing to the level that we expect, and it takes time. And unfortunately, in this industry, as a manager, you have to win football matches, and the players you have to perform. I've looked at Mo Salah's performance, and for a long time since I've been doing this, all we've ever talked about is how well Mo Salah's done, scoring goals for the team, helping them win the Premier League last year. He was so influential. And we've got to remember what happened in the summer with Diego Jota. How much does this affect the players? We don't know. Only these guys can answer that. We saw Mo Salah against Bournemouth in front of the Kop crying after the game. Yeah. And when players aren't playing well, things can get on top of you at times. And we as pundits, and we have to sort of look at that. Why has he had such a dip in form? You know, Arne Slot's taking him out. I thought he would put him back in the team against Sunderland at midweek. I think he will put him back in the team against Leeds tomorrow. I think he goes back in. They'll beat West Ham, taking him out, no problem. Just shows no player is undroppable. I completely agree with that.
Well, if he doesn't, for argument's sake, if he doesn't bring him back in, you know, there's a couple of reports already out saying, you know, in January, Saudi teams kind of building, you know, to maybe take him. Does that become a reality? It's a question, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if he's not starting, surely he's looking at it going, no, I need to be playing.
I don't think he's mentally on that level. I don't think, you know, look, Mo is a fighter. I see Mo as a fighter, and I see Mo that he's gonna, look, you're not, I always said it, when you get to that level of goodness, you don't give up. Yeah. Because if you give up, you don't get that good. Because there are moments he had bigger challenges in the journey going to where he is now.
Chelsea.
So, come on, the guy. So he goes through this. He just has to sit down. His mental strength. He has to test it and see what he can do, and then affect it again. No, Slot, I know, because we both coming from the same country. Of course. I know they're very direct, and he will make a choice. He clearly made a choice. Also, sometimes to see what can I get out of him, and put him on the bench and see if he responds to it. And now, like we talk about, like, okay, is he going to start? What is that? Look, last season, Mo didn't have to defend back that much. Now, the team needs it. It's not anymore like he was scoring after each other. But now you can see that he's running back a little bit more.
He's doing more distance covers.
It's more energy, is less productive in scoring the goals. So that's very important. So now we have to see, now, can we get the old Mo back? Because he should. The talent is there. Now it's just about the execution.
You know, but the last chance that Sunderland had, had Liverpool lost that game, I think he could have been fired. You know, because people are starting to be fed up with him. You know, trying to find excuses about the results that they have. I mean, we can recognize Liverpool from last season, and it's part of because of his responsibility of not being able to put the best team, to find the chemistry between the new players and the former player. But he can't talk like that. I mean, we don't listen to him anymore because he's not saying the truth, and what we obviously all see.
Did we hear what he had to say there?
Well, they've just played one of the weakest teams going forward in the league in West Ham, who don't create a lot of chances, and they won. And they played a side in Sunderland who've promoted from the Championship, having a great season, but particularly away from home. They did it at Chelsea. They got a great result at Chelsea, but they sit in and they defend deep and they hit you on the break. And that's what Sunderland did. And that's why Sunderland did not create many chances against Liverpool. Not because Liverpool were great defensively. What he forgot to mention, that his skipper again made more mistakes. His skipper gave the ball away. His skipper turned his back. His skipper, Van Dijk, never closed the ball down. That was the goal, off the deflection off his hip. They play Leeds this weekend at Ellen Road. Leeds, who could have came back from 2-0 down, didn't against Man City, but could have in the second half. Leeds, who have just beaten Chelsea at home. And Leeds, who, I know we threw a stat out in midweek, Mark Ogden's fault, it was wrong, right? Oggy.
That's why we avoid stats.
But it was something like they only lost once at home in 18 months, but I think it was a couple of times, but part of that's in the Championship. But they've got their ginger up, Leeds. They're feeling a bit more confident about themselves. Daniel Farke got his players playing. If Liverpool were to be on the wrong end of another result here at Ellen Road against another promoted team, he's just going to face more questions. And would I be super confident that Liverpool are going to go to Ellen Road and win? No.